seem like I'm evil for thinking the way that I think. And that has been the strategy that is now used by many, many organizations. It is the strategy used often by feminist organizations to say if you disagree with them, you're misogynistic. And you may have noticed certain other group stealing their idea by saying that if you disagree with Islam, you are now Islamophobic.
Yep. Or green issues.
Or anything. There is now any number of labels. Or you are now a Nazi, which I find particularly amusing, considering that my mother's great-grandfather was one of the people literally gassed to death by the Nazis. I mean, I only exist, in a way, because of the Nazis. Otherwise, my family would have no need to evacuate, to sort of run away from Germany. And probably my mother's side of the family would still be there if it wasn't for that atrocity. So I don't want anybody to sort of say, even sarcastically, that I would align myself with the Nazis, even though it happens almost all the time now, for some reason. What am I doing for time, by the way?
Oh, you've got a few minutes left now, yes.
A few minutes left.
Okay. Yes.
A few minutes left.
Nearly 22.
There you go, like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, oh my gosh. I've been rambling for that long.
No, you can ramble for that long if you wish. It's not compulsory.
Why, thank you.
That's okay.
What was I going to say? I'm not sure what oh, yes. There are many things I'd sort of like people to go home with. Many ideas I want to germinate in people's heads. There's going to be a little TV show called Hack Live about male privilege in the coming months, and it's going to be about male privilege. And I'll sort of just want to spend my last couple of minutes addressing that specifically, if you don't mind. In America, they tried to pass a thing called the Equal Rights Amendment. Under the law, it was to give both men and women equal rights and responsibilities under the law. This sounds like a wonderful thing to me, and I'm sure it sounds a wonderful thing to literally everybody in this room. But they had a bit of a problem. It's a little thing called conscription that in America only men were expected to do. And a little thing called selective service, which meant that every time a man was registered to vote, he was also registered for the draft in case a war would occur. So up until this point, you had two kinds of citizens who could vote. One, if a disaster would happen, they would be expected to sort of pay for the right to vote, in blood, if necessary. And one group of people that did not have that same expectation. Yeah, for everyone thinking it, that other group of people had a lot of their own problems. True, many of which that I have not bothered bringing up because most people know them. Because we actually care about women. We care a lot about them, that we always sort of say, these were women's issues back in the day, and we do not want to go back there. And as we should, I would argue. But a little addition to the Equal Rights Amendment in America was called the Hayden-Ryder Edition, which stated, and I quote, verbatim, I am from memory, so it may not be a direct quote, but no privileges that women currently have should be lost as a result of this act. So that act, I believe, in its entirety was not fully ratified. But if it had have been, there would have been in law ratified by the American Congress the idea that female privilege existed and must be legally protected. So that, I think, has all I have to say Now I would like to go to questions, if you do not mind.
No, I don't. Sit down, sit down, sit down. And I'll just make the usual announcements so you can gather inspiration during the commercial. There'll be lots of questions if you live up to the tradition of the Open Forum. Once again, the Open Forum meets every Wednesday at 8. You're welcome to come any Wednesday. If you don't look at the program, you take potluck. We normally have a good speaker. We can't get a speaker every Wednesday. We score about 4 out of 5. And then on the 5th occasion, it's an armchair discussion. You only get about 10 people. You could get unlucky. The next Wednesday, the 24th of May, Victoria's birthday. Next Wednesday, critical thinking, it's philosophy, psychology and sociology. Dr. David Killingley is a specialist in many things, including biology and computer science, and is going to give a fascinating talk on critical thinking. 31st of May, How a Man Lived in 3 Centuries, the story of Eric Storm. He lived in 3 centuries, not for 3 centuries. His name was Roger, his name was Eric Storm. He lived to be 104. The speaker is Roger French, health director and editor for the Natural Health Society of Australia. And How a Man Lived in 3 Centuries is also the title of his book, which I've got a copy of. The 31st of May in 2 weeks. Fascinating for anyone interested in longevity, how to live to be 104. A very good friend of mine lived to be 104, and she had all her faculties right to the very end.
Did you get the letter from the Queen?
Oh yeah, she got that. And I was at her 100th birthday. I've got photographs. And when I used to visit her in a nursing home when she was 103, she used